The Bahrain Grand Prix is now officially in the books, and Oscar Piastri is a multiple-time race winner in the 2025 season. But now all the attention turns out to the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, which is going to be a very exciting race. It's a street track, if you will, and we're going to see a lot of wrecks, a lot of safety cars. So just get ready to see this upcoming Sunday that green Aston Martin car to be doing a lot of laps during the Grand Prix. It's going to be a very chaotic one, and I'm here today to give y'all my full-on predictions for it. So enough said here, and on to the intro we go. The Saudi Arabian Grand Prix was a new addition back in 2021, and since then has become one of the most popular races of the year just because of how tough the track can be and how racy it can be. So I got high hopes for this weekend. Yes, we saw a snooze fest out in Suzuka. Bahrain was a tad bit better, but towards the end, things got sloppy with TV timing, which was out of their control, but it still sucked. And just so many penalties being dished out left and right for track limits. It wasn't a pleasant race. It reminds me a lot of Austria, the Red Bull Ring a couple of years ago, when you had 13 or so drivers out of the 20 get all those track limit penalties at the end, and a driver from like 13th place moved up until the top 6. That's just not right. So there you go there. But winning the Grand Prix is going to be Oscar Piastri. He is going to get win number 3 of the season. I believe he is the best McLaren driver. You take away the lap where he goes off in Melbourne in the rain as it is going from dry to wet, and you take away that one horrible turn 1 and 2 in Suzuka qualifying for the Japanese Grand Prix. Oscar Piastri could very well be a 4-time Grand Prix winner this year. He could have won Melbourne, I believe. He was much quicker than Lando. And if he were to qualify on the front row in Suzuka, we all know how track position was there. He could have maintained it and could have very well won the race, but he didn't. He came home 3rd. But he's going to win this weekend in Saudi Arabia, and along with that, he is going to take the championship lead because he's only 3 points behind Lando Norris. I'm filming this right after the Bahrain Grand Prix, so something may change with George Russell potentially getting a penalty for DRS miscalculations because he opened it where he shouldn't have, and it'd be interesting to see what the FIA does. I believe that it really give him that big of an advantage because he didn't have a toe in front, like a car in front, if you will. So I don't think nothing big is going to come from it. I think it's just going to be a slap on the wrist because other drivers did struggle with DRS. So there you go there. Lando Norris, P3. Just giving me vibes right now of a couple of years ago, Hamilton, Verstappen, Bottas. And this year it is Piastri, Russell, and Norris. Norris just can't cope with pressure, and we saw it this weekend in Bahrain. When he had all the pressure on him, he wouldn't perform, and just a very disappointing weekend for him, and he's heading out to a track where he hasn't been really the best at, so I'm really iffy on Lando right now. Charles Leclerc, Lewis Hamilton, Max Verstappen, Kimi Antonelli, P7. I believe that's a sweet spot for Antonelli. And Antonelli's coming off a bad weekend in Bahrain. You take away free practice 2, 3, and qualifying, the race and FP1 were just piss poor. And FP1 was out of his control, and so was the race. So it just, you leaving the Bahrain Grand Prix with a sour taste in your mouth if you're a Kimi Antonelli fan like myself or a Mercedes fan. So hopefully things change this upcoming week. But I believe Antonelli for at least, hear me out, for at least until the summer break. If he's finishing 7th, I believe that's the average because there's no way in hell he's going to be on Russell's level within a year. We saw it with Piastri and Norris. Yes, when Piastri got to McLaren was in a horrible state where they're actually P9 and P10 in the constructors at the start of the year. Obviously, they got better, but Antonelli is going to take some time. And once he gets to Russell's level, Russell is going to be on his toes. I'm telling you, folks. Antonelli's good. Just give him time till the summer break. And after the summer break, I would expect some podiums after that. I believe a P6, P5 here and there until the summer break is going to be really big and should ought to be viewed as a win for Antonelli. But yep, horrible weekend in Bahrain. Poorly timed safety car. Pierre Gasly, P8, P9, Yuki Tsunoda, P10, Esteban Ocon, his best track in Formula One outside of Budapest is the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Had a chance to win here back in 2021 because all the safety cars that occurred that night. So keep an eye on him. He may steal a point or two for Haas F1 team. His teammate Ollie Behrman is going to follow suit behind him. Alexander Albon, Carlos Sainz, who had a DNF this past weekend in Bahrain. Liam Lawson, Isaac Hadjar, Jack Doohan. I mean, I had some hope for him. He started the weekend pretty good in practice and in qualifying. And then the race comes around. He's running around in P11 for majority of it. He gets a couple of good undercuts, gets himself into the top 10. And as the race goes on, he just falls back and back and back. And the Franco Colapinto conversation is still ongoing. I thought for a second this weekend that conversation can go to rest, but it's back up again. So Doohan's on his toes this weekend in Saudi Arabia because his teammate is coming off a big P7, I believe, out in Bahrain. And Doohan finished, 15th? Not good at all. Colapinto would have gotten points in that car. Righty there, Nico Hulkenberg, Lance Stroll, Fernando Alonso, and Gabriel Bartoletto. And I know Bartoletto is a rookie, similar as to Liam Lawson. Yes, he is a rookie. Isaac Hadjar, Kimi Antonelli, Ollie Behrman. I can go on and on. Gabriel Bartoletto is just struggling compared to his teammate. And I just feel really bad for the guy. I know the car isn't the best, and it's not going to get him into the points. I know what Nico Hulkenberg did in Australia was extremely big for the team, but let's just be real here. That's never going to happen with the car they got right now. What happened in Melbourne was piss poor luck, and there's no other way to put it. And if Gabriel Bartoletto can't get nothing going by the summer break, I think there's a conversation that needs to be had. It's going to be uncomfortable, but it needs to happen because Formula One is a ruthless sport, and there are plenty of good drivers on the sideline. Could you imagine the scenes if Bartoletto got the boot and the likes of maybe Franco Colapinto, if they want to spend the money, gets into his ride, Sergio Perez, or hell, even call back up Valtteri Bottas. I know that was an awkward breakup, but they got to start aiming for consistency, and Gabriel Bartoletto isn't doing it. And but yeah, I don't expect much from him. Aston Martin sucked it up in Bahrain. I expect them to suck it up in Saudi Arabia. And luckily, there's a week off before Miami. And I believe if they struggle this bad in Saudi, a lot of people are going to be fired heading into Miami. So keep an eye on that. But there's my Saudi Arabian Grand Prix predictions.